How's it going, folks? Jeff Benjamin with 9 to 5 Mac. In this video, we take a look at what's new in macOS Sonoma. But first, a word from our sponsor. 9 to 5 Mac on YouTube is sponsored by Clean My Mac X from MacPaul. With nearly 30 million downloads and 15 years of expertise, this app is a must-try for any Mac user. Whether old or new, maintaining your Mac is essential for smooth macOS performance. Clean My Mac X is the all-in-one Mac maintenance tool that helps eliminate junk files, hung processes, adware, malware, and malicious apps that slow down even the latest, most powerful Macs. Using the app's menu, you can monitor your Mac's health, CPU load, and more. If you're looking to get your Mac prepared for macOS Sonoma, this is the perfect companion app to get your Mac in tip-top shape. Click the link in the description to get Clean My Mac X with a 5% discount today. Special thanks to MacPaul for sponsoring 9 to 5 Mac. So first, let's start off with wallpaper and screensavers in macOS Sonoma. So if we right-click on the desktop, select Change Wallpaper, you're going to find the new macOS Sonoma default wallpaper, and here it is. This is the light version. I think it looks pretty good. Let's go back into the wallpaper settings and choose our dark version. And I gotta say, I'm getting some like Windows XP vibes here. What about you guys? Now we also have our Radial wallpapers. Looks great on that 15-inch MacBook Air. You have them in blue, green, purple, and yellow. And we also have animated wallpaper / screensaver hybrids. So if you have an Apple TV, you kind of know what to expect here, but this actually does something really cool because it's literally a hybrid between a screensaver and a wallpaper. Let me show you what I mean here. So Apple calls these dynamic wallpapers, and you see the little play button in the bottom right hand corner to signify this. So you have various categories like landscapes and cityscapes, aerial wallpapers, etc. And you'll see where it's downloading the wallpaper. You may be thinking to yourself, why is it downloading a static image? Well, the reason is it's not a static image. These are actually hybrid wallpapers. So if you have an Apple TV, you've seen a lot of these already. So let me show you. If we go up to our menu bar, we go to the Apple menu and select lock screen, look what we have. That static wallpaper is not static at all. It's actually a dynamic wallpaper. It's actually a moving picture. So this is actually real video that is being displayed here, and I've actually sped it up a little bit just to get through this, just to show you guys this is not some static image. This is actually video. So what Apple has done, once you log back in, you'll notice the video slows back down to a stop right where it was when you log back in. And if we lock again, it just starts up again. So this is one of many dynamic wallpapers, and again, I've sped this portion up just to kind of move it along there because it goes by pretty slowly. When I log back in, you can see it comes to a crawl and then it stops. So really cool implementation of this new dynamic wallpaper in macOS Sonoma. And again, that one was one of many. So we also have this one right here, the Grand Canyon, and let's go ahead and lock our screen and wake it back up. And there we go, get it moving. So this is definitely one of my favorite new features in macOS Sonoma. It just really adds that dynamic look and feel to your desktop wallpaper, almost a 3D sort of look. And then when you unlock your Mac, of course, it stops and it's no longer distracting. But once your Mac is locked, it just looks great. And you have many different screensavers to choose from. And again, if you have used the Apple TV, these are all going to be very much familiar to you. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, piggybacking on that, let's talk about the new iPad-inspired lock screen design. So you see, it looks very much like the iPad when put into landscape mode. And if you go to your settings and go to lock screen, you're going to see some various settings you can go in and toggle here. So you can show the clock, you can show or hide the clock if you want to do that. So you could say when logging in, keep the clock there. You can show or hide your name and photo as well. So we'll go ahead and hide that, lock our screen again. So you still see the clock, but the name or the photo where I log in is no longer displayed. And let's go ahead and hide the clock now, make that only appear in the menu bar. Let's go ahead and lock our screen again. So no clock, but I have the photo. And we'll go ahead and also remove that photo and show you what it looks like there. What are your thoughts on the new lock screen? Let me know down below. Now, another major change to macOS Sonoma is the ability to have widgets right on the desktop. Now, previously they were in the notification center area. There's where all your widgets previously lived, but now you can drag them out directly onto the desktop like that. But you can move widgets anywhere on the desktop. So it's not like you have to put them in one specific place. You can move them wherever you want them to move, just like that. But they will snap together if you put them close. So if you like to keep things nice and tidy, don't worry, they're going to snap into place just like that. And you'll notice that other desktop items like icons move out of the way of the widgets as you move them closer, which is pretty cool. They sort of just dance out of the way like that. Just like that, and you can still have the snapping as well, along with moving those items out of the way. Pretty awesome. Now you also can remove widgets easily. Just right click, select remove widget, or you can hold the option key and then click the little minus sign. And you can edit widgets from Notification Center, so click the edit widgets button. That brings up this view right here, the widget gallery. And when you click the plus button here on one of those widgets while editing via the Notification Center, it'll drag or automatically place rather those widgets directly in Notification Center. And of course you can still drag as well anywhere, just like that. Now, if you edit widgets from the desktop and you click the green little plus button next to the widget, it'll place those widgets on the desktop instead of in Notification Center. And it'll just start from the upper left-hand corner like that. Now, the widget gallery, as you can see there, contains all of your various widgets. And what you'll notice is that you get widgets for both the Mac and from your iPhone via continuity. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But here you can just simply drag any of the widgets directly to the desktop from the widget gallery. And as you can see here, you have both Mac widgets. So you see on this Mac right here, you can drag those, but you also have iPhone widgets from an iPhone that's nearby via continuity on the same Wi-Fi network or just close by, and you can drag that to your desktop as well, which is really awesome, right? So for instance, Ivory, I can drag that. That's something that comes from my iPhone. I can drag that widget directly to the desktop and get timeline information. I can drag the Tesla widget directly to the desktop. Obviously that lives on my phone. But again, continuity allows you to have that directly on the desktop. And if you click one of those widgets, you'll just say, open that on the iPhone to continue, just like that. Now, here's the cool thing. Widgets stay consistent across desktops. So if you have multiple desktops and you swipe back and forth, all your widgets are going to be there. But also, widgets fade into the background to reduce distraction. So if you have an app loaded up, it fades into the background, and the tinting is intelligent based on the desktop wallpaper, so you can see the differences in the tint as well. Now you have widget settings, so if you go to your settings panel, go to desktop and dock, you'll find your widget style there. So automatic is default, but you can make it full color all the time, so even when something's on top, it'll stay full color, or you can make it monochrome all the time, so even when you're focused on the widgets, it stays monochrome. But of course, I like automatic because it'll switch between the two as appropriate. Now you also have use iPhone widget, so if you turn that off, your iPhone widgets, like the one for Ivory, will disappear. So only Mac widgets will be displayed. Now you can still interact with backgrounded widgets. So here, you can see I have widgets in the background, and I can click, just like that, to turn the lights off in the studio. Pretty awesome. Now, of course, you can also edit widgets. So if I right click on stocks and select edit stocks, I can change the stock symbol. So I can change to a different ticker and show stories if I want to do that. And I can also change widget sizes. So I can go from small to medium and then medium to large, and it'll reorient itself like that. And I can search for specific widgets in the widget gallery. So if I want to search for battery, just type in battery, and there I can easily find all those widgets. Now, there's some new behavior in Sonoma. You can actually show widgets or show items on the desktop just by clicking the desktop. Previously, you have to assign a hot corner to do something like this, but now when you click the desktop, you'll see what happens. A show desktop action occurs. And in this case, I've hidden the widgets behind the desktop, but I can also do so with all items, which include the icons on the desktop. So now when I click, it will reveal both the widgets and the icons, just like that. Pretty interesting new behavior. Now you can also click to show wallpaper only in Stage Manager. So now in this case, when I click, nothing happens. I actually have to use the hot corner. Now in macOS Sonoma, gaming gets a lot of attention, including DirectX 12 support for emulation. So previously, if you wanted to run a DirectX 12 game like this, it just wouldn't run at all. So this is very encouraging news for utilities like Parallels. Hopefully this means that we'll be able to have full-on DirectX 12 support in an upcoming version of Parallels so you can run AAA titles. Previously, only DirectX 11 was supported in Parallels. Now, you also have game mode, which automatically gives a game top priority for the CPU and GPU. It also dramatically reduces wireless latency for things like AirPods and your controllers. Now, video conferencing gets some love in macOS Sonoma, so you get reactions. You can actually click to invoke these reactions. This is a Zoom call, so you can see that. But not just these clickable reactions, you also have the ability to have reactions based on what you do in the frame. For instance, if I put a thumbs up like this, then I get the thumbs up reaction automatically. Or if I make a heart, then I'll get that heart reaction just like that. 2 thumbs up, get you some fireworks. There's also presenter overlays, so you can be talking when sharing your screen, and then you'll see this little overlay here as I'm talking. So this allows you to present information in a much more effective way, but it doesn't stop there. There's also the ability to float over your shared screen if you want to do that. So in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see, I'm going to go here, and you can see me floating on that presenter overlay on top of my shared content. And I'm sure this will get even better as developers are able to refine their apps to work with the presenter overlay. Now let's talk about Safari and passwords. So this is really exciting and arguably probably one of the most impressive new features in macOS Sonoma. So if we go to Safari, go to settings, and we click where it says profiles, this brand new feature. So profiles will basically silo things like history, cookies, website data separately from each other. So you can create separate profiles for things like work and then have all your work information in that one profile and keep it separate, all its data from your personal profile, for instance. And then you can create its own symbol, its own color. You can assign either a dedicated favorites or adopt your current favorites if you want to do that. And in my opinion, this is profound because say you use the same website for both personal and work, but you obviously have different logins for both of those websites, depending on if you're using it for personal needs or work needs. Well, now you can silo those into these various profiles and you don't have to worry about that. You can easily switch between the two without having to log out and log back in or whatever the case may be. And you can see that icon there for the work profile, and you can see where you have the option for new windows to open to an empty page, same page, tabs for work, or new tabs open, start, empty, or same page if you want to do that. Now you can also enable extensions for that specific profile. So if you want dark night for dark mode only to appear on the work profile, you can do just that. Really powerful stuff that we have here. Let's go ahead and create another profile. This time we'll call it play. We'll give it its own little symbol. Let's use the bike. Where's the bike? There we go. All right, and we'll choose a different color. Green looks good. And of course, you can use your create a new bookmarks folder if you want to do that. So that's what we're going to do. So we have our play profile just like that. So we can switch between work and play with no problem at all. So here we go. So there's play. And here's work. So let's close both of these profile windows. So close out work, close out a play. Let's get back to our default. And watch what happens when I go up to history. Well, you see all the history of my default Safari browser. But if I go to file, new play or work window, so new work window, notice no history because it's completely siloed from my normal standard default browsing session. Or if I go over to play, you can see history, no history, because it again is siloed from both work and my default browsing session. Now, if I go into history and I go into clear history, I can select clear all history in website data except for the profiles, or I can clear history from a specific profile if I want to do that. So that really shows how the data is siloed to correspond to these particular profiles. So for example, let's go up to file, new window. And this is just a regular window. We'll go up to file again, new play window. All right, so let's switch over to our work window, and I'm going to log into Gmail as I've done here. I'm going to enable dark mode because I have that extension assigned to work only. Now, to illustrate what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to close these windows and I'm going to start again. But I've logged in to Gmail on both accounts. So my work window, you can see I'm logged into Gmail, my 9to5Mac Gmail. I click that and there's my 9to5Mac Gmail, right? But now, and it's in dark mode, by the way. But now if I go to a new play window, you see there's my personal or my secondary work email, and it's logged into Gmail on that secondary account, no dark mode. So again, completely siloed. Now you also have passkey and password sharing. So if I go to settings, go to passwords, log in, you can see family passwords, share passwords and passkeys safely and securely with family. So we click get started here. Or if you want to click not now, you can do that too. You can always access though the sharing with this little plus button and then selecting new shared group. So the splash screen shows you can add trusted contacts, choose what to share, and that you're in control. So click continue. You have the ability to add different people, and I'm going to do that. You can see the owner name, and then you want to give it a group name. So we'll go in there and we'll just type in fam, and then we'll create our shared group. Now, once you create the shared group, it's time to add passwords to that group. So this is moving from your main password silo to your shared password. So I'm just going to add Best Buy, move that over, and now you can see under fam, you have Best Buy. Super simple, super easy. So everyone in this shared group has access to that password and passkey. So now I can go ahead and ask ones to accept the invite. And you can see here for Best Buy, it's under the group fam. I can move that if I want to. And you can see the passkey and the password as well. So pretty cool new feature here in macOS Sonoma. Now another big feature in Safari is web apps. So if you go up to the file menu and select add to dock, you can create a web app for the current website that you're viewing, in this case Monday. So I just click add there. And then immediately you'll find the icon for the web app down in the macOS dock. You can click that to launch the web app with the simplified toolbar. And we can actually close out of the website here in the back and just use the web app here for Monday. So the benefit of this is multifaceted. So first and foremost, you can access the web app quickly from the dock. You can drag that icon around the dock, launch it right there. So you don't have to dig within Safari to find that. Now, it also works with Command Tab. So you can quickly find your web app just by using Command Tab like that. And you can even search within Spotlight. So there's Monday, load that up, loads up the web app. And it works with Mission Control. So you can drag that window up to other desktops or whatever the case may be. Super simple. And you get a Launchpad icon, so you can launch it from Launchpad. And web apps work with Stage Manager. Another awesome new feature is enhanced private browsing. So I have a private tab here within Safari with 9to5Mac open. So watch what happens when I go up to Safari settings and I go to the privacy tab. You'll see this, require password to view locked tab. So when I enable that, you can see now to view that locked tab, I had to put in my administrator password. So basically whenever I lock my screen, which I'm gonna go ahead and do right now, and log back in, it's gonna require that password before I'm able to view that private browsing session. Really cool. It works the same on iOS 17 as well. Now you also, if you go to advanced, get advanced tracking and fingerprint protection in both private browsing and in all browsing. So you have that option as well. Now let's talk about messages. This has been a long time coming, but finally we have search filters within messages so you can filter on specific people, different types of files, in text of course, locations. There's also swipe to reply, so just swipe and you can quickly reply inline. And there's catch up. So this little up arrow here will allow you to quickly jump to the first unread message. And there's a new way to share and view location. So you can share your location for 1 hour until the end of the day indefinitely, but it's now inline within the conversation thread, which is super nice. So that will update dynamically right there within the conversation view. And of course you can go in there, stop sharing, or get directions if you want. So one of the cool features of iOS 17, you can now create stickers from your photos. And all the stickers are now in one place. So you can go in here, you can drag some of these created stickers. These are some ones that I just created quickly from some photos. Not the best looking stickers, but it'll get the job done. And all of them, are, like I said, are in one place. So all your emoji characters are there as well. Now, PDF and Notes. You can now open Notes in Pages to continue editing in Pages with obviously much more powerful tools. So if we just go to the Share menu, open in Pages, now you can see that opens right up in Pages, and you can format it with much more powerful tool sets. You can also flip through a PDF in a note. So previously, they would just have that PDF there. You have to open it up, but now you can flip through that PDF within the note with nice thumbnails. And you can link related notes now, which is really cool. So if you go up to Edit, you can add link. So all you have to do is just simply type the name of the note that you want to link to. You can give it its own custom name or just use the note title as the name if you want to do that. Just like that. But we'll just use the note title, click OK, and there's our link. So now when we click that link, it'll jump to the linked note. And of course, you can backlink if you want to do that. So you can just use Command K, that's the shortcut, and then type in the name of the note you want to link back to. Really cool feature. And in macOS Sonoma, Print Center makes a return. This is an app that was available in much older versions of macOS, but now it's back and available within the utilities folder. So we're going to go ahead and just start that print job. But if you go up to our Launchpad, you'll see another Print Center with a very weird icon that looks a little bit out of place, but nonetheless, it's there. Now, you have keyboard predictions inline as you type. So notice as I'm typing, I can just press the space bar and it'll complete those predictions right there. Now, there's even more accurate autocorrect. So as you're typing and you make mistakes, you'll see the suggestions there. And you can actually go back to your original spelling if you want to. Just click on it like that with the yellow underline. There's also a nice caps lock indicator. So now when you have caps lock enabled, you know it just by looking at the screen. You don't have to look down at your keyboard. You get this little indicator right there that tells you so. Now you also get improved permissions for things like photo library access. Now you don't see it here, but eventually you'll be able to, once apps are updated, they'll be able to specify a certain subset of photos instead of giving you access to all photos. And for calendar permissions, you now have the option to give ad-only access instead of full calendar access. And lockdown mode, which is really only for super high profile potential targets, has been improved as well, and now it works with Apple Watch. Now, there are some accessibility improvements as well, including personal voice, which is a very interesting feature. It allows you to create a synthesized version of your voice, and it's great for those who are at risk of actually losing their voice, allowing them to communicate in a more natural way. You also find easier text size adjustments. If you go to accessibility display, you'll see text size, and you could change text size for apps like Calendar, Finder, Mail, Messages, and Notes individually. And then you have your overall default text size that you can change as well. So for Notes, I'll keep it at the default, and then I made it 21 point in other areas of macOS. So here's default for Notes, but watch what happens when I open up Finder. Things are going to look a little bit larger there. And you have the option to automatically pause animated images, just like that. And there's an updated experience for learning voice control. So if you just go to voice control and click on the open voice control guide, you'll see the full guide listed there with a nice little walkthrough. And you'll find a dedicated screen sharing app here within utilities. And it comes with a high performance mode for high bandwidth connections, which is great for video editing over screen sharing, for instance. The Reminders app gets some really cool features, including grocery lists that automatically sort into categories. So I'm going to create a new list here. And notice the list type, you have groceries as an option. Click OK. And then when we start adding items, eggs, cheese, milk, you see that's all grouped in dairy, eggs, and cheese. Bread, bagels, all grouped together. Snacks and candy, produce. You get the point. It's a really helpful new feature in the Reminders app. Going to make it much easier to use with the grocery list. Now, you can also group items based on sections, so you can create new sections within lists and then move those items to those specific sections. And there's even a disclosure triangle to minimize those sections as well, which is a really nice feature. Reminders is really a powerful app now, just like Notes. It's going to make it even more difficult to justify using third-party apps when you have feature sets like this. Now there's also a new column view. So if you go up to view, you can view as columns, and that makes it easier just to kind of see the full layout of what you got going on there with all those headings above for those various new sections. Now in the Mail app, you'll notice that travel related emails will stay on top when you click the search button for your search suggestions. So that makes it easy to find those particular emails, which is a very nice feature. Now, you can also add big emoji to your emails, just like in messages, the first 3 emojis are larger. So I'm adding those 3, now watch what happens when I add a 4th. Everything gets smaller, but now I remove that and I get the large emoji back. Now you can also show originating mail for attachment. So you see this attachment? If I just click here, it opens up the originating email, which is an awesome feature that I'm going to use a lot, no doubt. Now, visual lookup gets some updates as well. You can find recipes right there from a picture and just scroll through and find a similar recipe. That can be handy. And you can even look up information from a pause video frame now. Just right click, you can do lookup like that, and it's that simple. Now, Photos gets an update to the People album. It's been improved and now it supports our furry friends. So hey, they're as much as a part of the family as anyone else, so we want to make sure we recognize our cats and dogs, and you can easily pull it up and it'll recognize all the pictures of Daisy just like that. Super nice. Now, Find My gets some updates as well. You can share AirTag and Find My network devices. So up to 5 people can keep tabs on an AirTag, for instance. So all you do, here's my AirTag for my keys, and you can just add a person if you want to share that AirTag with. See, others can locate, and tracking notifications will be muted, of course. So you click on continue, you add the person, and you can see who has access to view that AirTag. Nice new feature. Now, let's talk about some dictation improvements. So you can now use dictation and the keyboard together just like you could in iOS 16. So as I am dictating, I can also just grab the keyboard and start typing with my keyboard. And the dictation will continue, of course. And I can mix and match keyboard typing and dictation without stopping dictation, which is super convenient, right? If you just want to type something out, you know dictation isn't going to get it right, you just type it and continue on with your dictation. And our voice assistant, which I won't name, now works when you just say its name. Instead of, hey, you know who, you just say, you know who. So you can set the listen for option to just, you know who, or hey, you know who, and it will work as you expect. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my AirPods Pro 2nd generation, and I'm going to say, Siri, what time is it? And it works just like that. And one last thing, last but not least, I just wanted to point out something I found really convenient. The Settings app now has back and forward buttons, so you can quickly navigate through that using those handy back and forward buttons to go back not only within sections, but also across sections, as you can see right here. Super convenient. So ladies and gentlemen, that has been a look at macOS Sonoma. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. This is Jeff with 9 to 5 Mac. Special thanks to MacPaul for sponsoring 9 to 5 Mac. If you're looking to get your Mac prepared for macOS Sonoma, then Clean My Mac X provides an aesthetically pleasing and hassle-free way to do so. You can eliminate junk files, malware, and more, getting your Mac in tip-top shape. Click the link in the description to get it today and take advantage of a 5% discount. Special thanks to MacPaul for sponsoring 9 to 5 Mac on YouTube.